can create a post, can delete a post, can edit a post, and can view a post. So hang tight, let's enjoy the ride one step at a time. This is Zach Animate Studios. If you have not subscribed, friends, you can always subscribe, you can share, you can always tell a friend to tell a friend who wants to learn programming, because I thought I'm doing this so that if you're a Ugandan, you're a Tanzanian, anywhere in Africa, and you want to learn coding with a little utilities that you have, you can do it. You don't need to be hired. You can use the coding knowledge to solve simple problems that you have in your local area. You can help businesses in your local area with the information you are getting. So all I'm just requesting for you is just to tell a friend, because I'll be here every day to give you new information. So without further ado, I love you. Thank you. So if you're with me, let's continue. I appreciate your time. This is important to me so much. So let's jump into our code. So creating a new application, we just type Laravel new web app. So basically it's going to create a new web application. So it is telling us something. Laravel, sorry, Laravel new web app. Let's just create double P. Okay, that's okay. It will take a few seconds to generate those files, and then we are going to start creating our application from that point. So I always tell you earlier on, you have to fire up your XAMPP. You must have your XAMPP ready. You fire up Apache, and then also you fire up MySQL admin, because we are working on our computer. So on the back end of MySQL, this is the point where you create your database. You manage your databases from the back end of your computer. Basically, this is the back end of your computer. So basically, these are the key steps that you are going to use to build your application. There are so many different ways you can do it, but I'm trying to teach you the easiest way you can do it as a young developer, and you can use these skills to solve some of your businesses. So business needs, and okay, let's resume. So we were setting up our application. I believe it has already installed all the packages. Okay, it's still installing. So basically, those are the packages that you are going to use to set up your application. You don't have to worry so much. Depending on your internet speed, it might take a few minutes, but eventually you'll have your web application. I always use Visual Studio Code. The goodness with Visual Studio Code, you can save your codes, you can save your keys on your console. So what you're going to dive into the application is called web app. So we're just going to use file, open folder, and then you're going to open that folder. It's called web app. So this is the application that we have generated right now. So what you're going to do, we're going to install the packages for Laravel. And Laravel requires, it normally requires, it's a starter package for authentication. So we're going to install Laravel. So let's just open our terminal. We open our terminal. Just a little bit. For that, we open our terminal, a new terminal. So we are going to install Laravel, and it requires a composer. So you're going to write composer require Laravel, okay, Laravel slash Laravel breeze, sorry for the typo, and then dev. Okay, that is the package for Laravel. So and then you're going to write PHP install. You just going to install no PHP artisan, install the breeze. So that's it. PHP artisan install. PHP artisan install. Okay, breeze install PHP artisan breeze. Sorry, breeze. And then install. So this one is going to install that package for the breeze. And so after you've done that, we're going just to follow the same code that you have been, please execute. So you're going to install the npm, and then at the same, after you have installed the npm, you can just also install the run dev. But if you are using Git, you can just copy the entire code, and then if you are using Git as your terminal, that is, you can just copy the entire code, and then it will run the two functions at the same time. So we have already installed the breeze. We have already installed the breeze authentication, and then now what you are going to do right now, we're just going to set up our database. So you'll go to config to the environment file, and then you're going to create a database name by the name web app. So that is the name of your database. So you go to your browser, and then on your localhost PHP myadmin, what you're going to do, you're going to create your database. So it's going to be called a web app, and then after you've done that, you're going to run also. We can open a new terminal. You can just open a new terminal here, and then you are going to run to PHP artisan serve. Okay, PHP artisan serve. So this one is going to fire up our server, our application. That's also a code that you should write it. Okay, so that it should be on top of your head. So what you're going to do right now, we are going to just go to that link, localhost 800. Sorry for that. So our web application has already been installed, and then so we can take a look at it this way. So you see, it has the login. It has not been compiled by the name, so we have to wait the registration. So we have to compile the application. So the JavaScript has not compiled. So let's go back to our application. we go back to our terminal where we had installed that. It's still installing, so kindly be patient. Because of time, I think I'm trying to do some things a little faster, but it has to install the npm run install. Okay, this function npm install. So that is the function that is installing. So just kindly be patient. It's installing that, and it's okay. It's okay. So as it continues, we talked about earlier on the PHP architecture, the MVC architecture, model, views, and controllers. They are found on the app folder. The app folder where we have the models, not the models. We have the controllers, and the controllers are found inside the app folder and in the HTTP folder. And now, what we are going to do now, we can create, we can take a look at controllers. So we can create our first controller, because we have already the log. We have already created the login, the authentication. When you install the Breeze application, the Breeze package, it install our authentication, confirmation, all these functions. These are the functions that you had. It has already been created for you. So we are going to create our own functions. So we are going to create our dashboard function. And then we're going also to create our custom dashboard function, and also we are going to create our blog post function. So the way we are going to do it, we're just going to create a web that you just write PHP artisan make controller. So we are going to create either post. First, we can create a post controller, and the post controller is going to have the Crud functions. So we give it the name of the controller, and then give the name of the controller. That is the post controller. And then let's just, I want it to look nice. And then what you're going to do next, to give it a full function of a Crud function, you're just going to add resource. Okay, resource. Okay, so resource. So it's going to create a complete Crud function. Okay, so let's just take a look at post controller. That is, it comes with the create function, the index function, the create function, the storage function, and also the show function, and then the edit function, and then the update function, and last but not least, the delete function. So these functions, we call them Crud functions. They create the Crud functions. I will explain to you later in a few seconds. So we are going also to create a new function, which we are going to call it the dashboard controller. So with the reason why I told you Visual Studio Code is good, you can just create a controller by copying. It is the codes are already stored on the memory of the terminal. So you can just make some changes as easy as you want. So we are going to create dashboard dashboard controller. So we're just going to create a dashboard. The difference between /resources is because it's just going to create a blank new controller. So that is going to be that's how we're going to take a look and see. So the dashboard controller, it has already created for us. So we are going to add our own perfect functions. So we are going to create an index function, public function index, and this index we're going to now to put our own logics. So stay tuned, don't go away. We're going to put our own functions. When somebody logs into the website or registers into the website, he will be redirected to a home page. If it's a user, he'll be redirected to a specific dashboard. So, but for now, we are just not going to give them roles or permissions. What we're just going to do, we are just going to give them a simple login. So right now, at this function, at this moment, we are going to create the views. So each function carries a view. So that's how Laravel, that's how you can program your Laravel application to work. Remember, we were working on we were installing the package. I don't know if it has completed installing, so let's just take a look. It has already installed, but now what you are going to do, we are just now going to npm run dev run dev. So this is going to compile the JavaScript files that has been installed. We have already compiled the JavaScript, so let's just take a look right now on the so you can just reload the page. What you're going to, if you want to know, it has already compiled the pages. Right now, if you go to your login page, you'll find a perfect login page for your users. At the same time, when you also go to your register page, you will also find a perfect login registration page. So what you can do right now, we can just create a user. I'm Zach Otieno. Let's just create Zach Otieno, and then my email address, instructor@yahoo.com, and then you can find your perfect password. Just put your password. People don't know how to create their passwords. That's another lesson I might take to teach you guys how to create passwords. People are really doing that. They are taking risk while creating wrong passwords. Okay, I'll take time to teach you how to generate your own passwords. So I will teach you how to create passwords. People don't know how to create passwords. Okay, so you create your password and then you log in. It might give us an error. It is telling us the table was not found, PHP artisan migrate. So what we're just going to do, we're just going to do the migration. So to do the migration, you just take the code PHP artisan migrate, and then you write it on your terminal. So PHP artisan migrate. So it's going to create the tables and the database that are required. If you want to know how to create the tables, all these functions are found on database and then on migrations. So migrations, basically migrations are what you are creating tables inside the database. So let's just open it up. Sorry. Okay, but before then, I don't know why my browser is taking that long to it's unresponsive, but we can just go back to our browser and try to reload again. So we are telling us the password does not match, but if we want to check if I've been registered, we're just going to the folder users, the database web app users, and see if any user has been created. So what you're going to do is just going to create that user again. No, I think I had not created, I did not match my password, so let me just do it again. So let's register. So you see, it has given you a very nice dashboard which you are going to work with. So that's a dashboard. So let's create, we can create now the module for blogs. Okay, I don't want to go so much about it. I don't want to go into details, but we're just going to do one function, a Crud function for blogs. Okay, and let's now go to our files and folders. I talked about migrations. I don't know why my mouse is unresponsive, but now let's just go to views. Views are found within the resources, and then the views folder. Inside views we have CSS, we have JavaScript, we have language, we have authentication. So the first function of Laravel is it created for us the auth functions. The layout came with the Laravel, and then the same we have also the components. I don't know why. Let me just take a pause. Okay, sorry for that. My folder, my remote machine was a little bit responsive, but right now I've sorted it out. So we were having some issues. We were to look at migrations. These are where you create your tables, and you create your tables. These tables will be written into the server, that is your SQL server. So your server, that is either MySQL, or so basically you can write your, this is how it generates the tables inside the database of your through the migrations. So that one is for creating passwords. So you can pre-write functions on the CDAs. As we will going to look further in other applications how these functions will be created, but right now we just want to take a look also at views. Views, we have the auth. Sorry, why is it unresponsive? Pause. We are continuing to take a look at the views. The views, the Laravel function, the package, it created for us the change password, the forgot password, the login blade, the registration blade. So at this point, this is where you create your views on the view folder. So, but the way to go about it, you must be guided by your controllers, right? So your controller will guide you on how to create any view that you want. So let's just deep dive into the controllers, our post controller, and then we can create a controller first, right? Let's dive into post controller is equals to control P. Okay, just control P, and then you are going to post controller. So post controller. So we are going to create our first view. So what you're going to do, you're going to write our, because we already have the basic function, the basic class of index. Now we are going to create a view for it. So return view. and then you are going to the first initial let's say we are going to have post. This is going to be a folder, posts dot index. Now index is going to be a blade, it's going to be the blade, and then you have to close your function. In your view folder, I want to explain to you how you create views on Laravel. So basically you will have a function to return the view, but how it works, the first function, the first element inside the view, this is a folder called post, and then this is the view itself. And views always have a blade, an extension of blade. So what you are going to do, you are going to create a folder called post, and then an index file of blade. So let's just deep dive inside into views. Just inside the views, create a folder called posts, and then inside now the post, create a folder called index dot blade dot php. I have installed an extension that shows if I have written the correct file. You can just follow that link and then it will take you to that folder. So basically it's a right folder I have created. So that is the index file. Right now it's a blank file. So the way, because we are using Laravel, it always comes with the x function. So we are just going to today we are going to copy. Copying is allowed as you learn. That is a rule. It's not a rule, but you are allowed to copy. You are allowed to copy if you are learning, so that it is only wrong to copy when you are still in high school or in college. But when you are dealing with when you are out here, you can copy. So we are going to copy that, and then we are just going to change some functions called this file name. We're going to give it a name of posts. Okay, so we are going to build our application from this point. So basically we are giving, so let me just try to explain it. On our application, we are going to add a new navigation at this point. Okay, at this point, just after dashboard, we are going to add a new navigation. So to do that, we are going to go inside the navigation folder. This navigation folder, you are going to see something like nav links. Okay, so at this point, what you're going to do, you are going to just copy this folder, this extension, Ctrl+C. I'm just teaching you how to do it. You'll do it on your own. And if you want to learn more, also there are good guys like Laravel Daily. That is an amazing man. You should watch his channel if you also want to learn more, because also I learned a lot from him. So with that, we are going to change here. We're just going to change this link to posts, and then we're going to save that, and then we are just going to reload our page. So right now we have that function, but it is not yet connected to the post controller. You understand that? So this thing has not been connected to post controller. So to do that, you are going to connect it to post controller via routes. So another important function in Laravel is the root, and the root, the most important function is called the web PHP function. So we are going to create a root to post controller. So we already have the first function, and then we have that goes to the welcome page, and also now we are going to create our own our post function. So this is what you're going to do. Okay, basically it also represents the same thing. So we are going to do that, and then we are going to first just copy and paste it, so that you have, basically I've learned by copying and pasting. So if you're going to judge me, this is the way I do it, and I always produce result. So we are going to modify this function to suit post controller. So we are going to modify it to suit post controller. So just to recap, what we are going to do, we are going to we are going to copy. Basically, let me just explain it in a more understanding way, because so we are going to regenerate the dashboard controller, so that we are now going to assign it a new controller called the post, and then we are going to route that function to post. So basically what we're going to create, we are going to link it to the post controller. So so the way you're going to do it, you're going to your web app, and then you're going to, because if somebody has already been authenticated, and then so we're going to call the authenticated user, and then is going to create that post. So basically this is how it's going to look like. That's how it's going to look like. So it's going to be root out, and then post controller at post controller index. Basically we are routing this controller to this post controller to the web app, so that it redirects our users to the targeted page, which is this post. So initially I told you we are going to rename that post file. So what we're going to do at this point, we are going to build we are now going to build the Crud functions, the create index. Now here it is where I know I've not taught you about the HTML, the CSS and all that, but now at this point, this is where now that those skills come in handy. You need to know how to create the grid. You need to know how to create the columns. You need to have a little understanding about the we call Bootstrap. Yeah, you can use Bootstrap, or you can also use Tailwind. You know, Tailwind is specifically, but you can still use Tailwind here, or Tailwind CSS, or you can also use Bootstrap. So up to this point, we have just created a login authentication system. You can see you can log in, and that is instructor@yahoo.com with his password. He has logged in, and now we have created the post page. So let's catch up in the later, so that we can now create the functions of creating post, deleting post, and viewing post. Guys, coding is not that hard. It is the mentality that you have. You might not. I mean, I can tell you my story. My story is just simple. I started doing this like 2011, and right now I've not been hired, so I've decided to hire myself to pass on the knowledge that I have been learning for all those years, so that somebody who thinks he cannot do it, he can do it. So I salute every one of you. Let's catch up on the next video. It's also going to take us a few minutes, and I hope you're enjoying this. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend if he wants to learn something. Zach Anime Studio. Saizi hamfundishi na wazungu. I'm your guy. I will teach you this because I've learned it all. By the way, ninafanya animation. If you want also animation, that one is going to come later, but I'm doing it, and let's build one another. I appreciate you. I love you. Take care.